Hello, I am a social media content creator. I am concerned about the changing climate of our planet. Hence I decided to do this video on climate change. Climate change refers to long-term changes in the natural climate systems of the Earth. This increase the greenhouse gas concentrations, which lead to global warming. The early discovery of climate change started in 19th century wherein scientists like Alexander von Humboldt began to foresee the effects of climate change. In the 1820s, Joseph Fourier proposed the greenhouse effect to explain why Earth's temperature was higher than the sun's energy. Today, centuries later, after the dawn of industrialization, there has been too much carbon dioxide emissions from burning fossil fuels. There has been too much methane gas emissions from agriculture, especially livestock, landfills, and natural gas systems. Too much nitrous oxide is released from fertilizers and industrial activity. Deforestation and land use changes had reduced the Earth's ability to absorb carbon dioxide and that altered climates. Disrupted ecosystem had caused habitat loss and shifts in species distribution and decline biodiversities. Rising global temperatures has been noticeably caused rise in sea levels, as glaciers in polar regions start melting and threatening local communities. Extreme weathers increase the frequency and intensity of hurricanes, floods, wildfires, and storms worldwide. There has been geopolitics and denial by economists and industrialists around climate change issue. However, the growing concern around the world has finally led to mitigation and adaptation strategies in order to address climate change crises. In order to reduce carbon emissions, we have decided to reduce burning fossil fuels, and transition to renewable energy sources like hydropower, solar energy, wind power, thermal energy. We have responsibility to protect our fauna and flora, and ocean ecosystem biodiversities. We have to reduce plastic, which is a byproduct of petroleum. We can also become climate change activists, and advocate for better climate change policies. We have also decided to implement the policies and recommendations made from previous climate change conferences, like Montreal Protocol of 1987, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change of 1992, Kyoto Protocol of 1997, Paris Agreement of 2015, COP29 Conference of 2024. Coming into conclusion, we need to emphasize that climate change is not just a topic for boardrooms and politics where we play around with ambiguous semantics, but it is a real threat to the safety of our planet Earth. Combating changing climate requires global cooperation and sustainable practices to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and build resilience against inevitable climate impacts. There has been passionate talk about colonizing other planets. This passion to colonize other planets is born from the fact that we are realizing that we have failed to protect our planet Earth and we are now thinking of fleeing to another planets to start new life there. The kind of life that the universe allowed to exist on planet Earth cannot be the same as on other planets. It should be our imperative responsibility to fix the mistakes we did that affected climate change adversely, and not think of fleeing to other planets. The irony about being a denialist in climate change is like seeing a problem but choosing to dig a head in the sand instead confronting the problem and finding a solution before it is too late.